Bonjour everyone, Blue Sicx again, and today we're going to do a fun unboxing. Now I've been meaning to do another unboxing video for a while, and so I thought why not? So I went out to buy some new cards. Those who follow me on Facebook, those who follow me on Twitter, has seen some of the cards I purchased, and I did a poll. And I've done a poll through different forms of media, social media. So, and the winner of the unboxing poll was this lovely box. These are the Hermetic Tarot. Now I've had my eye on these for quite a while, and one of these, in fact I think it was this deck that kind of got me into doing videos, because essentially I wanted to see some of the cards, but some of the videos I thought was a little too slow, and now I'm kind of doing my own version anyway. But so we'll start off. So I think at the front that's supposed to be the Wheel of Life, the Wheel of Fortune maybe. Let's see if they can get into focus. A little bit better. That's a bit better. Can't really tell from here. Yeah, that's better. So I think it's supposed to be the Wheel of Fortune. Come on. No, it doesn't matter. And this on the back is the Emperor. Emperor on there, I believe. Now I'll do a quick focus on this, just to kind of a little bit of detail on the front there. And so these are done by the US game system, one of the two largest tarot companies, that and Los Scarabino. Most of the cards I have are from Los Scarabino, and quite a few of them are from US Toys and Games. So let's open them up. Always the exciting bit. Although I should have really bought a pair of scissors. Okay. And there for a minute. Right. So we've got this written on the side. I'm not going to try and read it because my reading is dreadful. So if you can pause that to read that later. Same with this. And of course I said you can just pause it. So oh, that's quite tight actually. Okay, so let's see. We've got a little book, and the little book is packaged in with it, and sometimes used separate, and that background looks really cool. Very nice and simple. This reminds me of the last unboxing I did a while ago about the Wild Unknown Tarot. Now most of those were black and white with colour implanted throughout. So some of them were a bit black and white. Most of them were black and white with some colour. I think these are pure black and white. So now just to readjust the camera, you want to see the cards. More. Okay, so we'll start with the very front card, which is one of the standards border cards, more of the advert card, as I like to think of them. And you've got this card here, which is one of those, you bought this pack, here is the sort of thing to expect kind of thing there, but I said you can pause that in a moment. Right. So now we shall start with the Foolish Man. So I always like it when they do variations on the cards, on the standard names, and I think that's the symbol for fire. I believe that's the symbol for fire, but I can always check later. Oh, missed something there as well. So you've got the name there, and you've got something under there as well. So it looks like they all have this. That's a Spirit of Ether. That's going to be quite interesting. So just have a quick skim, and of course I believe they'll all have something written at the bottom. So then you've got the Magician. priestess. Some of the, and I do like how some of these are going. So you've got the Empress, which looks very interesting. In fact, you've got the Emperor, who we saw on the back, and you can understand why first of all that was the Magician. That looks quite like a magician to me. So these guys are very busy. You got the Hierophant. Sorry, some guy showing that there. Not the Hierophant. Yeah, the Hierophant there. Shush you. The Lovers, which looks very different to how they're usually depicted. Chariot. There. And you've got Fortitude instead of Strength. I'm not going to worry about the bottom parts as well. I'll just do the top, and then in the review, when I get around to actually reviewing these properly, I'll go into a bit more detail. So you've got the Hermit there. So you've got the wheel there. So it turns out the wheel wasn't actually part of the front box. Justice. There. I like the yin and yang on opposite sides as well. The Hanged Man looks quite interesting, very similar to the Aleister Crowley deck there. The Death card, typical fare with the Death card there. Then you've got Temperance. So these cards are quite busy. This one I think is quite cool, the Devil. The Devil card in this one looks very interesting, very busy, very classic. And then you've got, what's it say? The Blasted Tower, which is interesting. Sometimes in other decks they refer to as the Falling Tower. I think the stars there. So yeah, you can't say they didn't put some time and effort in. Right, I think I've got the top card of the deck. So I think I've got the top card of the deck there, of the moon, because you've got the nice scarab. Also symbol of regeneration, which I think is quite cool. And also you've got jackals at the bottom of the towers, but we'll get into that during the review one day. I'll review these. I'll review them all eventually. So you've got the sun. The Last Judgment. Looks pretty cool there. Nice judgment. And then finally, the Universe. So now we go to the minors, and it looks like this is done in a very baffling order. So we are starting with the Knight of Wands. And he looks very dramatic, very kind of Thor-esque. Then you've got the Queen, looking quite vicious there with the thing above her there. Then you've got the King. There. Then the Princess. So I'm quite intrigued as to the order of these. I might check the book in a minute actually. So then you've got the Knight of Cups, the Queen of Cups. Now, some of these characters, even for cups, they look quite severe. And you've got the King of Cups, Princess. Right, now go to the the Knight of Swords. Now at the bottom it says Lord. So I have a quick 1, 2, 3. So yeah, so the Knights are lords, the Queens are queens, the Kings are princes, and the Princesses are princesses. Very odd there. Sorry, because as I'm putting them up with the camera, I've got a button kind of here around this little section, so I can't actually see on the camera what it says at the bottom here. So that kind of explains why these are referred to as knights. However, it is quite confusing that the fact there that it's a knight that's referred to as a lord, and the kings are the Yeah, and the kings are the princes, which I think is a bit strange. But some of these are very, very heavy. So I'd probably say these aren't for beginners, especially just on the fact that you've got a king who's a prince, which doesn't make any sense at all. But you've got the Princess of Swords there. Really kind of dreamlike. Knight of Pentacles. So this is kind of baffling me, really. I said after we'll go for a quick go through these cards, and then we'll have a quick look at the book, see what they say about that. So you've got the king, who is the prince of stuff. And that's the Princess of Pentacles there. So now they right, okay, they're doing it in numerical order now. So you've got Ace of Wands. It's quite bold. I mean, all of these are going to be pretty big. Right. Now this is one of these style of cards that I am not a fan of, because these, I used to think they were referred to as pips, but a pip is just another term for the numbered minors. Basically, this seems to be doing here is the number, so there are going to be 5 ones in this one, 6 ones in the second, etc. So it's not necessarily going to be easy to method read, where you look at the picture and just read the picture. I mean, the title at the bottom does help as well, so you've got victory written at the bottom there, so that does kind of guide you in that regard. But so once again, I'd say these are not for beginners. Now, through my reviews, I'll be talking about whether cards are suitable for beginners, intermediates, etc. Now, one of the things I've always found a bit, why I like the traditional order, excuse me, is because after you just. But as I was saying, one thing I always like about the traditional style when they put these out is when you have the minors, the court cards at the end, so you've kind of got something to look forward to. So if they're kind of this sort of design, you're like, oh okay, well let's see what the courts look like. So them kind of showing you the courts at the beginning, and then just having the actual numbered ones at the end. It kind of makes this feel a little bit boring, but you know, it's all personal, really. Yeah, as I said, if it wasn't for the thing at the bottom, these would be a little harder to method read. So personally, I probably wouldn't use these to read myself, because I do like a lot of visual stimuli, just because I like pretty pictures, which is probably why I have so many at the moment now. So if you follow me on Twitter at Sicx Tarot, I think I mentioned that my current number is 87 tarot, including this, and people say that's a lot, and I won't argue. But at the same time, you know, you'll need a hobby, and you know, my hobby, one of my hobbies that actually involve money, are tarot. One of my other hobbies are comic books. I do like my Marvel films, to the point where I'm now co-host of a podcast called The Good, the Bad and the Logan X. I recommend you check that out. I'm on the last 2 episodes. So I'm a recent addition, and we talked about the Batman animated cartoon, Batman animated films. So we talked about Mask of the Phantasm, Dark Knight Returns, The Return of the Dark Knight, my apologies, and Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker. And we've got a few more coming out in the next few weeks, so I recommend those. So if you do like your comic book films, and you like listening to 30 plus guys, 3 guys in their 30s just chatting about cartoons they really enjoyed then give that a look. And of course we'll be talking about the general Marvel Cinematic Universe. And they started from Blade. And I can't remember the last one they stopped on. Next release we'll be talking about, I can't even remember now. I think we're up to like Wolverine Origins at the moment. So we'll be talking about Wolverine. That was it. They made it up to Iron Man. So the last main Marvel series, they were talking about Iron Man. And then moved on to some animated features as a kind of break. And speaking of break, we're up to 9. So it says that these aren't particularly eye-catching to me. So that's the full deck. And now I'll have a quick look at the book, because they may have an explanation. So there you go, so you've got the little chart there that tells you the symbols, so which one's earth, air, water, fire, and which ones represent the planet and the constellations. And it tells you, that's nice, it also tells you in here the elements for each card as well, and also left, which I think is quite good. It doesn't appear to be showing any spreads. Yeah, there's no separate language in this book. It's just and it just seems to have individual meanings to the cards, plus the reverse meanings as well. So let me just put that in there properly. Anyway, so that is the look of the Hermetic Tarot. Overall, they look nice. I probably wouldn't use them myself, but I've come across, artistic wise, they're very nice. I've seen worse. I've seen better. I don't regret owning these. There are some I do regret owning, but they're part of your collection. So I'd say this would be nice to have as a collection set. Looks quite nice on a little display as well. So about my next video should be a forecast for the following week, and I shall leave you on that note. All in all, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Check out my other videos on YouTube, and of course my own website now, bluesixtarot.co.uk, where I'll also be putting up blog posts as well, hopefully. Okay, you have an enjoyable day, and I'll see you soon.